Welcome back, guys. I recently bought this machine. I paid 32,000 Norwegian kroners, so I think it's around 3,000 USD. The problem with the machine is, of course, it has some signs of use, but the main problem is that the secondary, the bolts holding the rollers in, has been the threads has been stripped off. So if I get this off, the rollers inside here has been stripped off. So I'm just gonna replace the whole secondary. You can see here the belt is too loose, and it's just because the rollers, the bolt might have jumped out already. And managed to buy a new one. With some other parts. I also have the primary, but I think I want to try to use this one and just have the other one as a spare. So we're gonna remove this, replace it. I also want to take some hot glue and just fill in the small hole in the net here. He had some new ones which I also got, but I want to just patch this up because they break so easily that it's better to have the spare one when I probably destroy this one even more. Other than that, it's a complete machine. It runs really good in terms of first pull, reverse is always on time, it never dies out, and it just feels very healthy as an engine. The engine is a 2016, but the sled is a 2013 early model. It's got a brand new track, around 100 kilometers on it, he said. I'm also gonna just check the tension and the rollers just to be sure, but it looks good. So I think we should just start by removing the belt, open the chain case. You don't need to take the cover off, you just have to take off the plastic plug, the bolt, put a screwdriver in, then you can just drag it out when you loose up some bolts down there. So we're gonna try to do that, and I show you around. So it might be hard to see, but there is just it's like a locking plate, which is held on by two 13mm bolts on the back side, because it's a bearing here. So it's just a lock plate so the bearing can't go out. All you have to do is remove that, remove the other side, which I will show you, and it's off. So this is what I'm talking about. On the newer models I'm used to the XPs. This is the XM. You have a 13mm and a 10 holding the brake hose to the brake caliper with just a small hose clamp here. So it's just one bolt which actually holds the bearing in and just one to the support there. But that means we're all finished here. Also see it's quite dirty in here, so I'm just gonna clean it up afterwards just to make sure that the engine gets its best possible air. And you can see here how it looks. A bolt from the secondary have hit both the secondary and the primary. And you can see all the marks. That's why I bought a new primary too. But I don't think I'm gonna be changing it just now. It's smooth, even though there are damages to it. So I'm just gonna let this go. But of course I need to change out the secondary. So let's go to the other side and do the work there. The next step is removing this plug using a screwdriver. You can try to carefully get under it. And push it out. like that. Just put that to the side. This is the bolt we want to have out. When we take the bolt out, we stick a screwdriver in and then push the whole axle with the secondary out at the same time. If we do that, we don't have to open the chain case and put new oil in and things like that. So it's highly recommended to do it this way if you're just going to change out a small part. But it's also a good time to replace the chain case oil if you haven't done that in a long time. But we're going to take that bolt out and see what it's going to do. So the bolt is out, the screwdriver are in, so I'm going to try to get it out while also making sure that the screwdriver doesn't fall out. I might have to keep it a little bit. Just like that. Well, let's go. So, I made a little mistake by moving the screwdriver away from there, and a washer behind the gearing fell down. But it doesn't really matter that much because I have to take off the cover now, but then I can also check the tension and the oil in the chain case. So it might just be the right decision to check that, because I don't know the status of the rest of the sled. But I'm just gonna remove the silencer, which is easy. It's harder to get it back on with the springs, but taking it off is easy. I use one of these, they help a lot. So, it might not have been the worst decision to take this off. As you can see the color, it's quite dark, so it's probably not been replaced in a long time. So a little bit more work, but at least I don't damage the chain case afterwards. Oh, you can see here, it's all junk and build up. So we're gonna clean the whole thing and then put it all back together. So I'm just gonna replace the ski too. It's worn down, so I'm just gonna replace it. This was the old one. The new one is on. You can see through here. I've done some temporary modifications, or adjustments is the right word. This was the wrong way, so I couldn't get the belt low enough in the secondary. I just had to take this out, turn it around and put it back on. So I'm gonna see if it's more right now. Also put in some more coolant because it was a little low. I replaced the ski, as you saw, replaced the chain case oil, flushed it. It looks good now, so we're gonna see. That's more right. For a more real spin. I feel some play here, up and down. It's a bearing that's not the best, but so I think it runs as it should. The secondary works as it should, at least. The only thing I'm noticing is you can see it's a lot of play here in the steering. It's probably missing or worn out one of the bearings. You have one in the top and one down in the bottom. When they get wear or worn out, they it feels like it's locking up under, let's say you have some force on the skis. It feels like it's locking up the steering, which is not good. But I made new bearings earlier. I might even have some lying around, so that should not be the biggest problem. Track might be a little bit loose. Just gonna test that, but other than that, it looks good.